Welcome to my channel. Value Quarter Dollar. The 1970 D United States quarter dollar is a fascinating piece of American coinage, both historically and numismatically. Officially known as the Washington Quarter, this coin was struck in 1970 at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the small D mint mark visible on the obverse, front, side of the coin, typically located to the right of the ribbon in George Washington's tied hair. The Washington Quarter series itself began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, and by 1970 it had already undergone a major composition change. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices and coin shortages, the composition was changed to a copper-nickel clad format, specifically an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Thus, the 1970 D quarter contains no silver, which is an important point for collectors and investors who often mistakenly assume older coins contain precious metals. On the obverse, the coin features the left-facing portrait of George Washington, originally designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Above Washington's head appears the word Liberty, representing one of the core ideals of the United States. To the left of his profile is the motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has appeared on U.S. coins since the 19th century and was officially adopted as the national motto in 1956. The date 1970 is positioned at the bottom of the obverse. The presence of the D mint mark distinguishes it from coins minted in Philadelphia Mint, which at that time often had no mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which used an S. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1970, making the coin quite common in circulated condition today. The reverse side of the coin displays a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, also designed by John Flanagan. The eagle clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation, while an olive branch beneath the arrows represents peace. Above the eagle is the inscription, United States of America, and just below that is E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning, out of many one, reflecting the unity of the original colonies into a single nation. Beneath the eagle is the denomination quarter dollar. This classic reverse design was used from 1932 until 1998, when it was replaced by the state quarters program. The detailed engraving of the eagle, combined with the inscriptions, makes the reverse both symbolic and visually balanced. From a numismatic perspective, the 1970 D quarter is generally considered a common coin, especially in circulated grades. However, its value can vary depending on condition. Coins that have been heavily used in everyday transactions typically hold only face value, 25 cents, but uncirculated examples, especially those graded highly by professional services, can be worth several dollars or more. Coins with exceptional strike quality, luster, and minimal contact marks are more desirable. Additionally, collectors sometimes search for errors or varieties, such as doubled dies or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase a coin's value. While no major widely recognized error varieties are specific to the 1970 D quarter, minor minting anomalies can still attract interest among specialists. Another interesting aspect of the 1970 D quarter is its place in the broader economic and historical context of the United States. The late 1960s and early 1970s were a period of economic transition, marked by inflation and changes in monetary policy. The removal of silver from circulating coinage just a few years earlier reflected broader shifts in how currency was produced and valued. By 1970, Americans were already accustomed to clad coinage, and the Washington Quarter continued to serve as a workhorse denomination for everyday commerce. The durability of the copper-nickel composition ensured that these coins could withstand heavy circulation without excessive wear. Collectors today often include the 1970 D quarter as part of a complete Washington Quarter set, which spans decades and includes numerous design and composition changes. While it may not be rare, it serves as an important representative of the clad coinage era. Its historical continuity, classic design, and accessibility make it a staple for both beginner and advanced collectors. In summary, the 1970 D Washington Quarter is not just a simple 25-cent coin. It is a small but meaningful artifact of American history, reflecting artistic tradition, economic change, and national identity through its inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum, along with its enduring imagery of George Washington and the American eagle the next top. The United States quarter dollar dated 1983 with the P Mint mark is a circulating coin produced by the United States Mint at its Philadelphia facility, indicated by the small p found on the obverse front of the coin. This coin belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter Series, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington. The obverse of the 1983 P quarter features a left-facing portrait of Washington designed by sculptor John Flanagan, with the word Liberty inscribed above his head, the national motto, "In God We Trust," positioned to the left of his neck, and the date, 1983, appearing below. On the reverse back, the design displays a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both military readiness and peace. Above the eagle is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, a traditional motto of the United States representing unity among the states, while the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar encircle the design. The 1983 P quarter is particularly notable among collectors because it was issued during a time when the U.S. Mint did not produce official uncirculated mint sets for 1982 and 1983, making high-grade examples harder to find compared to other years. As a result, well-preserved specimens from this year can carry a premium in the numismatic market. The coin is composed of a clad composition introduced in 1965, consisting of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance while maintaining durability for circulation. It has a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge designed both for aesthetic reasons and to prevent clipping or shaving of precious metal, a practice that was common in earlier centuries when coins were made of silver. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins in 1983, but despite the high mintage, many entered heavy circulation and were worn down, which is why sharply detailed examples with strong luster are sought after by collectors today. The presence of the P Mint mark itself is historically significant, as Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark for most of U.S. history until 1980, when the practice was standardized across mints to improve traceability and organization. In terms of cultural symbolism, the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum reflect foundational American ideals, freedom, faith, and unity, making the quarter not just a monetary instrument, but also a miniature representation of national identity. Over time, the Washington quarter design remained largely unchanged until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which temporarily replaced the reverse design with rotating state-themed imagery. But the 1983 P coin remains part of the classic pre-modern era of U.S. coinage. Collectors often examine this coin for strike quality, surface preservation, and mint luster, with grading systems such as Mint State, MS, used to determine value. Coins graded MS-65 or higher can be significantly more valuable than worn examples worth only face value. Additionally, error varieties, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, can increase desirability. Overall, the 1983 P Washington quarter stands as a durable, historically meaningful piece of everyday currency that bridges artistry, economics, and national symbolism, embodying both the practical function of coinage and the deeper narrative of the United States' heritage and identity the next top. The 1990 United States quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington Quarter Series, which has been in circulation since 1932 and remains one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. This particular coin was struck in 1990 at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small d mint mark found on the obverse, front, side of the coin. Like all quarters of this era, it has a face value of 25 cents and is composed of a clad metal structure, specifically a sandwich of copper and nickel, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams and measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge designed both for aesthetic appeal and as an anti-counterfeiting feature historically used to prevent shaving of precious metal from coins. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed originally by sculptor John Flanagan. Above Washington's head appears the word Liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed to the left of the portrait. The date 1990 appears at the bottom, and the mint mark D sits to the right of Washington's ponytail. These inscriptions reflect core elements of American identity: liberty, faith, and the historical significance of Washington as a founding figure. On the reverse, back, side, the coin displays a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing readiness to defend the nation, while two olive branches beneath represent peace. This design reflects themes deeply embedded in U.S. symbolism: strength balanced with a desire for peace. Above the eagle is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one, signifying the unity of the original 13 colonies into a single nation. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar. The overall artistic composition of the coin remained largely unchanged from 1932 until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, making the 1990 D quarter part of the final decade of the original Washington quarter design era. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, making them common in circulation and generally of modest value unless found in uncirculated or mint state condition. Collectors often examine factors such as luster, strike quality, and the presence of wear or damage to determine a coin's grade and value. While circulated examples are typically worth only face value, pristine examples graded by professional services can command higher prices, especially if they exhibit exceptional quality or rare minting errors. From a historical and cultural perspective, the 1990 D quarter dollar represents a continuation of American monetary tradition during a period of relative economic stability in the late 20th century. The inclusion of "In God We Trust," which became the official motto of the United States in 1956, reflects the country's ideological stance during the Cold War era and beyond, emphasizing spiritual identity alongside political values. Meanwhile, E pluribus unum, a motto dating back to the nation's founding, highlights the enduring importance of unity in diversity. Coins like this are often overlooked in everyday transactions, yet they serve as miniature artifacts of national identity, carrying forward symbols, language, and history through daily use. The Washington quarter, including the 1990 D issue, is also widely collected by numismatists, coin collectors, both as part of date and mint mark sets and as examples of American coinage design evolution. Many collectors begin with coins like these because they are accessible and abundant, yet still offer opportunities to learn about minting processes, grading systems, and historical context. In summary, the 1990 D United States quarter dollar is more than just a piece of currency. It is a durable, symbolic object that encapsulates American heritage, artistry, and the continuity of its monetary system, linking everyday commerce with deeper layers of national meaning and historical continuity. The next top. The 1993 P United States quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1932, originally issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington. By 1993, the design was still the classic Washington Quarter style that had remained largely unchanged for decades before the later state quarters program began in 1999. The P mint mark on this coin indicates that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historically significant minting facilities in the United States. On the obverse front of the coin, you will find a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose initials JF appear subtly on the design. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, representing one of the fundamental ideals of the United States, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed to the left of the portrait. The date 1993 appears at the bottom, and the small P mint mark is located just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The reverse back of the coin features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by two olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. This reverse design also includes the inscriptions United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many one, above the eagle, and the denomination quarter dollar at the bottom. The coin is composed of a clad structure introduced in 1965, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving it durability and a silver-like appearance without containing actual silver. The standard weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a reeded edge, grooved sides, which historically helped prevent the shaving of precious metal from coins. In terms of mintage, the 1993 P quarter was produced in large quantities, over 645 million pieces, making it a very common coin in circulation and generally not rare or highly valuable in circulated condition, although uncirculated specimens or coins with minting errors can carry higher collector interest. Collectors often examine such coins for condition, grading them on the Sheldon coin grading scale, where coins in mint state, MS, condition with no where can be significantly more desirable. The inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum reflect both political philosophy and national identity, with In God We Trust becoming an official motto of the United States in 1956 during the Cold War era, while E Pluribus Unum dates back to the country's founding and appears on many official seals and coins. Although the 1993 P quarter does not feature a commemorative or special edition design, it remains an important example of late 20th century U.S. coinage, widely collected as part of date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters. For numismatists, coin collectors, the coin offers a snapshot of U.S. minting practices before the major design changes that came with the state quarters and America the Beautiful programs, and it is often preserved in albums, coin flips, or graded slabs by professional grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. While its face value remains 25 cents, its historical, educational, and collectible value lies in its design continuity, symbolic inscriptions, and role within the broader narrative of American currency and national identity. The next top. The 1996 United States quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, a cornerstone of modern American coinage that reflects both historical continuity and everyday commerce. This coin was struck in 1996 at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mint mark on the obverse front of the coin. Like all quarters of that era, it has a face value of 25 cents and is composed of a clad mixture, outer layers of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving it durability for circulation while maintaining a silvery appearance. The design features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally created by sculptor John Flanagan and first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. By 1996, this design had been in continuous use for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coin portraits in the world. On the obverse, above Washington's head, appears the national motto, In God We Trust, a phrase officially adopted as the United States motto in 1956, reflecting the country's historical acknowledgement of faith in public life. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, symbolizing the nation's foundational value of freedom, while the year 1996 is inscribed to the right, marking the coin's year of minting. The arrangement of these inscriptions follows a consistent pattern used across Washington quarters for much of the 20th century. The reverse back of the coin displays a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches below, imagery that conveys both military readiness and a desire for peace. Above the eagle is the inscription, United States of America, and below it is the denomination quarter dollar. Encircling the top edge is the Latin phrase E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, a traditional motto emphasizing unity among the states. The 1996 D quarter was produced in large quantities for general circulation, with a mintage in the hundreds of millions, reflecting the ongoing demand for coinage in everyday transactions across the United States. Because of this high production, most examples found today are not considered rare, especially in circulated condition. However, uncirculated coins, those that were never used in commerce, and coins with strong strikes, minimal wear, and original mint luster are more desirable among collectors. Coins graded at higher mint state levels by professional grading services can carry a premium, particularly if they exhibit sharp details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, as well as clean surfaces free of marks. In terms of physical specifications, the coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams and measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded grooved edge designed both for aesthetic reasons and historically to prevent clipping of precious metal. Even though modern quarters are no longer made of silver, a change that occurred in 1965 due to rising silver prices, they retain the same general size and appearance as their earlier silver counterparts. The 1996 D issue came just a few years before a major transformation in U.S. coin design, the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which replaced the traditional eagle reverse with rotating designs representing each state. As a result, the 1996 quarter represents one of the final years of the classic reverse design that had been standard since 1932. For collectors, the value of a 1996 D quarter typically depends on condition rather than rarity. Circulated examples usually remain worth their face value of 25 cents, while uncirculated specimens may be worth slightly more, and professionally graded high-quality coins can fetch higher prices in the numismatic market. Some collectors also search for mint errors, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, or planchet defects, which can significantly increase a coin's value if authenticated. Overall, the 1996 D. Washington quarter stands as a representative piece of late 20th century American coinage, combining historical symbolism, standardized production, and widespread circulation into a single, familiar object that continues to pass through countless hands while quietly reflecting the heritage and values of the nation that produced it.